let's do a little review on the GoFish Cam. Now that I've been using it for about 2-3 months now, I've had, I would say, close to a dozen trips, at least 10 with this device, and I'm loving it. It's giving me some really cool shots. I'll share some of them here in this video of strikes I've had, fish following my lures, and things like that. So really cool device so far. I'm loving it. It's giving me some cool insight on how the fish are behaving down there in the water. The housing, pretty narrow, goes to the water fairly easily. I will say when I'm trolling, even at like 2 miles an hour, I do have to weight the thing down a little bit. It sinks on its own, but just at the speed, it wants to float to the surface, and I'm only getting like 6 inches under the water, I feel like. So I'm putting like a little 1 ounce weight, about a foot or so in front of it, and then attaching my lure. The connection point is a solid steel bar that is, I think it's extremely sturdy and gonna hold up over time. So far it's holding up to pretty much everything that I've used it for, from freshwater to saltwater now, here on the Central Coast, dropping it down for rockfish, and it's holding up just good. The back of this one comes off, and it's where you put in your SD card. It's got a rubber gasket to seal it, and a secondary one, and then also a third one inside that acts as like a final seal to protect all your components. So you get your charging port right here. It does not have an external battery. It's all internal battery on this thing, so it's just a one-time use out on the water. You can turn it on and off, but what I've found is I'm getting about 90 minutes of use at the 1080p cycle. I'm getting maybe 2 hours at the 720. But if I turn on the Wi-Fi and I'm using the Wi-Fi capability, which this thing does have, which is really cool, having the ability to use Wi-Fi, my battery time's getting cut down by like a half hour in each one of those. So it's definitely cutting down your battery time quite a bit if you have the Wi-Fi on continuously. And the only thing I'm really using the Wi-Fi for now is to be able to view the videos while I'm out on the water. This thing cuts all your videos into 1-minute clips, so it's on a loop continuously every 1 minute. I don't know how I like that yet. It hasn't caused an issue, I would say, yet for me. The only way I would see is if it, like, strike was when it looped, would be kind of where I would notice a problem with that. But so far, it's actually made editing the videos and going through them very easily. Compared to having a full 15, 20 an hour clip and having to go through and adjust that later. So far I'm loving the fact that it only does 1-minute clips, but holds up to a 64. It might actually hold even larger SD card. The micros, I would say you'd probably be good with a 32 or a 16 even. I've been getting roughly about a full card or full battery is giving me about 14. So I would say a 16 card is probably going to be good, but if you're going to be doing a longer trip where you're not going to have time to clear it, but you have a way to charge it, I would say go with the 32, and it's going to be able to get you pretty much 2 charges on the camera and fill your memory card with that. It's got your red button on here is your record button if you want to do it manually, or you can do it through the app. And then it's got the other button on the other side, and that is your Wi-Fi button. Turns on your Wi-Fi on and off. And then if you turn this on, depending on which way you turn it on, either to the left or to the right, it will give you your night vision, which is kind of cool. Here on the Central Coast, I was fishing the other day and I dropped it down to about 130 feet and it was pitch black down there. Reeled it back up, turned on the green light that they have, that they're calling their night vision, and sent it back down and was able to get a really cool strike of this lingcod that I'm showing you right now. Just having that green light on lit the scene up down there enough to be able to capture that strike. Other thing I'm noticing is it's hard to feel your strikes with this thing on there. It's giving you a little bit more of a delay on your strikes, but nonetheless, it's still cool getting those strikes. So it's one of those things if you're there just to catch the big fish and or catch fish period and not worried about the filming aspect, then this obviously is going to get in the way of that. And I think any camera that you're putting in line is going to definitely mess with it if it's completely in line. I think it's going to be really cool for halibut fishing as well as just bottom fishing in 2018. I got this so late in this season. I got it in, I think, September. I didn't really get too many ocean trips with the weather, and then fire season messing me up there. So I think it's really cool. I don't think the battery life's as good as they say it is. It says long-lasting battery life. I'm not getting that. I think the 1080p is a huge plus for this camera, opposed to the 720 that the other competitor's camera has. But the GoFish Cam, I think, hands down, it's an awesome camera. I think the app that they have, they're making good improvements on it on a regular basis, and improving the quality of the app and the user friendliness. When I first got it, it was hard to even tell if you were recording or not when you used that, but now you hit record and it blinks for you. So that's pretty cool. When you open it, it comes with this little card, and that card pretty much tells you, focus, the settings for everything on this camera. So overall, like I said, I think it's a cool camera. It also comes with this little green float. So you slide your camera on that, still attach your line in your hand, and then it'll float on the surface pointing down, so you can have a bait suspended below it and get any strikes that way. I don't know how much force it would take to pull this under. That would be, I think, definitely quite a big float to keep this whole thing floating, because it does sink on its own. That it'd be interesting to see how much force actually took to take this under. I don't think a bluegill or anything like that, a small one at least, is going to pull this under, or even a small trout. I think it would take something a little bit bigger. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next review that we're going to do. Hopefully we'll have one coming up here soon. So tight lines, and we'll see you next time.